Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, a journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Students, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on the chapter of Unfolding Positive Qualities, and in today's satsang, we will continue this beautiful journey, and we'll start with the parable of the drowning scorpion. Once a saintly person entered into a river and found a scorpion that was drowning. As he tried to rescue the scorpion, the animal stung him. His hand shook from the pain and the scorpion fell. Again he tried to pick it up, and again the scorpion stung him. Someone by the bank of the river laughed at the saint, saying, "What are you doing? Why are you doing all this? Throw that scorpion down, crush it." The saint replied, "The scorpion is maintaining his dharma or duty, which is to go on stinging me. Why should I not maintain my dharma, which is to go on protecting him?" Similarly, in this world you face different types of personalities, some of which sting like scorpions. No matter how much you try to help them, you will get stung. Still, you must maintain your dharma and duty. Don't use your energy to judge the actions of others, nor to decide what they should or should not do. Rather, look within yourself, decide how you should act, and then do so. Yato dharmas tato jaya. Where there is dharma or righteousness, there is victory. If you have forbearance, you will find that people around you will change for the better, and that the change will be of a lasting nature. If you want to be great, you must understand that there are two types of strength of muscles and strength of ethics. Strength of ethics implies doing what is good even when you are provoked, all the while knowing that God is behind that strength. And let's enjoy the story of the monkeys and the bull. Buddhist literature tells us how Lord Buddha attained perfection, passing through many embodiments. In each embodiment, he learnt a lesson. In one of his incarnations, Buddha was a mighty bull in a forest, and although a bull, his spirit was highly elevated. One day, a band of wild monkeys began to tease him. Some jumped around on his back, some started scratching his ears, some bit his horns while playing with his tail, etc. At first, the bull thought, "Let me shake these petty creatures off and just crush them." But then he reflected more deeply upon the matter, and he thought, "After all, these monkeys are only having fun, and I'm not going to die from all this. They are simply annoying me. If I retaliate, they will be seriously injured. Furthermore, isn't it better to control anger than to take revenge?" By reflecting in this manner, the bull was able to remain quietly passive and overpower his anger. At that moment, some celestial beings passed by and observed the conduct of the bull and were amazed. They said to the bull, "Why don't you kill those monkeys?" And the bull said, "It would be easy for me to kill them, but I realize that there is greater virtue in controlling anger. It is a better form of heroism to kill anger than to revenge upon them. Those monkeys have given me the opportunity of discovering my strength over my own lower self. Because of this, I am indebted to the monkeys." As the story implies, physical strength is little compared to the moral strength, to the strength of virtue. And that moral strength develops when you control expressions of anger, hate, and retaliation. If someone insults you, instead of trying to hurt the person or to revenge upon him, try to maintain goodwill. If you can talk with the person and make him understand, that would be ideal. But if you cannot reason with the person, then simply pray in silence for his well being. No matter what happens, learn the art of endurance and internally do not hold any ill will. It is easy for anybody in the world to follow the philosophy of tit for tat, eye for eye, and a tooth for tooth, to revenge upon anyone who harms you. But it is a greater virtue not to seek revenge, but to endure and forgive through the development of inner strength. If you restrain anger, hate, and jealousy and instead promote compassion, understanding, love, you become a highly advanced person. The capacity to forgive is a mark of internal greatness. But if you react in the same way as the average person, you remain at a very low level. For there is no end to taking revenge. The disharmony continues without end. Let's move on to the next quality, positive virtue, Dhamma or control of senses. Dhamma means control or mastery over the senses, which implies utilizing the senses under the direction of reason. Mastery of the senses does not mean that the senses remain constantly withdrawn. In order to be useful in this practical world, the senses have to operate in a healthy and in a sensitive way. However, you must be vigilant as to when you should withdraw them and when you should not. The senses must always be under the control of the reason. There is a popular expression, see no evil, hear no evil, think no evil. Even when you are seeing evil, you have the possibility of not letting the evil enter your mind. When you hear negative things, you have the possibility of rejecting the impressions that are carried through those words. Dhamma also implies disciplining the senses so they can be utilized in the right direction at the right time. When it is time to study, you must do so without being distracted by what the senses bring before you. When it is time to play, you should play fully. Enjoy yourself. You should not just pursue things haphazardly according to your own whims. In other words, be disciplined and manage a healthy schedule. A person who is fabulously rich may have millions of dollars in his hands, but he may be no more than a slave to his senses. Although he has a lot of money, his desires may be endless. He may run from one place to another, a slave to 1,000 fancies. He may decide to have breakfast in Paris, lunch in New York, and dinner in Australia. His life becomes as scattered as his senses. If you are undisciplined, your senses become your worst enemies. When you discipline yourself, you find you can do so many things in an excellent manner. Discipline, order, harmony, these are the secrets of real success in your life. All the pleasures that the senses can give are little compared to the joy that arises when your mind advances and you have attained mastery over the senses. The bliss of the self is like the ocean. All the pleasures of the senses are just a drop in that ocean. Let's hear the story of a contented goat, the search for a contented goat. Once a king issued a declaration that if any farmer brought to him a truly contented goat, he would give that farmer a wonderful reward. Throughout the kingdom, farmers prepared for that competition by feeding their goats special food for months. On the appointed day, the goats were brought to the stage one by one, and their contentedness was tested as fresh green grass was held before their noses with fresh dewdrops. Although each goat was already strong and well fed, they were tempted by that luscious grass, and each one lost control and started eating as if they had not eaten such grass before, and one by one they failed the test. Then one farmer came forward with a goat that was not as fat and stout looking as the others. Looking at that goat, the other farmers never thought that he was much of a competitor. But then something quite unexpected happened. The goat looked eagerly at the grass, but before he could move towards it, he looked at the master as he had been well trained to do so. The master raised a little cane rod. Seeing this, the goat turned away from the grass and just wouldn't eat it. By so doing, he passed the examination and got the reward. Similarly, your senses are like those goats. No matter how much you give them, they are never pleased. You may eat all the ice cream in the world, but you will still want more. You may have hours of fun, but still you will want some more fun. The senses are never satiated or satisfied. You must then use the rod of your discrimination, of your intellect. Tell your senses you can have half an hour more of fun, but that's all. You can have one more bowl of ice cream, but that's all. As you begin to discipline yourself, you build the foundation for a wonderful personality. Later in life, when you have learned the value of discipline, you are grateful that your parents helped you to discipline yourself when you were young. But when you grow up undisciplined, you feel that your parents didn't do their duty to help you as much as they should have. So, with this, we conclude satsang for today, and we'll continue this beautiful journey in tomorrow's satsang. Hari Om Tat Sat.